Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Look who I found outside the Bricklayers Arms here. One of Tottenham's finest institutions as a pub. One of Tottenham's finest institutions as an online guru of all things coffee and all things Tottenham. Here with Benny Boy from the Coffee Company. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. It's my 30th birthday today as well.
Oh,
so
mate. Congratulations! I didn't realise.
So 3 decades alive. We should be out having a party, having a drink, but no, we're at White Hart Lane, the world famous home of the Spurs.
Plenty of time for a party and a drink, mate. Plenty of time. Plenty of time for that.
Plenty of time.
Ben, let's start off, mate, with we're going to go through the usual questions. I know you're very familiar with these right now. Let's start with Bodo. Start with the semi-final. How important is it in your eyes? What happens tonight and next week?
Most important game of the season, and it's a pivotal moment in terms of whether what we think of this manager. I just saw you interviewing the gentleman before. Big up to him for his interview, which you can watch here on the Spurs Talk Show. That's a plug mid-show.
Smash the like, subscribe and comment.
Absolutely. But these 2 games, and if we get there, the 3rd game in Bilbao, is what do we think of the current manager that's at play? Most of us have an opinion. What do we think of this gentleman in charge of the club? But
what's your opinion?
I think he's the worst manager Tottenham have had since Terry Neill.
And that is a title that you can ascribe to him with facts and data to support it in a world where we lose tonight or next week over the 2 legs.
Yeah.
And even if we get to the final and lose, then absolutely. But if, Benny Boy, if he does lift the trophy, then facts and data will suggest if the line in the sand is success equals a season with the trophy and failure equals a season without it, then in terms of the status and the gravitas that comes with the Europa League, then Ange Postecoglou literally has in front of him either the title of the least successful manager of all time or in the Premier League era, or the most successful.
He'd still have that title in the league though, wouldn't he? Factually in the league he would still be, in a 38 game season, he would be Tottenham's weakest manager in the history of the club.
But it's all about trophies, right?
Absolutely, it's all about trophies. I don't care who the manager is, as long as there is a cut and we get to stand here on the high road at some point in June or July and we get to see
bus parade.
Absolutely, I don't care. I really, really don't care. But
do you think that? First of all, let me clarify. Are you of the mindset then, regardless of whether we win or we don't, you still want him to leave, fall on his sword, and go for next season?
Absolutely.
Okay. On that basis, is there any chance that you can get on board the idea that a successful Ange Postecoglou, a successful end to the season, could invoke a different outcome under his leadership, because he will no longer be pissy and annoyed and this version of him that we're seeing every week, and he might go back to the nice, funny, confident version of him that wasn't full of excuses that we saw at the start, because he's now got that trophy that he can say, I wasn't cocky, I was right about always winning in my second season. And you have a group of players, most of whom are 23 or under, who can sit there and say, I'm a Europa League winner, but the age of 19 or 20. Does that change anything?
That's why we always say football's on a pendulum. A lot of people are very black and white when it comes to their football opinions, but I've always said it on my channel, or on both my channels. Football's on a pendulum.
You've got 2 channels?
We've got 2 channels, Tottenham on Tour, and of course the Coffee Company. Yeah. The pendulum always swings.
Smash the like and subscribe to both.
Absolutely. The pendulum always swings, and we've got to see how the powers that be look at this, because there's going to be an interview at the end of the season, isn't it, between Mr. Levy, Vinay, who we don't even know who the director of football is going to be coming here. Is it going to be Johan Lang? Is it going to be Paratici?
It's crazy, mate.
We really don't know who's in charge.
That's why, to me, I feel like even though the Europa League thing is super important, obviously, but there's another elephant in the room, which is, are the club making the decisions around what the future looks like, regardless of the outcome, that they need to know now, so that they can tell Vinny now, if Vinny is going to be the guy who's overseeing this stuff, that this decision's been made. So go and interview people, work, whilst on gardening leave, all that stuff. Because if you wait until Vinny gets here and then he has to make those decisions, the summer's gone.
It's too late, isn't it? You've got to put in your transfer strategy really now. And it's why I've always said when it comes to transfer windows, you should have 2 teams. You should have one that only works in the summer, and then when it's the playing season, they're all doing their work, seeing who we're getting, and then you have that team for January. You have 2 teams of people that are working. We should already know who we're buying in the coming season. The transfer window is sort of it's a bit of a hoopla, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you can be doing your transfers now. You just can't register them until whenever it opens.
You know what? There's about 8 free transfers this summer.
I watched your show.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope you have as well. For me, I feel like there's about 7 or 8 different free transfers. For me, it's the most. There we are, there, boys are. Come and sit in a minute. It's about 7 or 8 different free transfers that are out there that could be. You could be making deals with these players now.
Jonathan Tar's one of them.
Jonathan Tar's one. Jonathan David.
Yeah.
Kenny Tete, you have to wait to the end of the season for him. Frank Iguissa over in Napoli. Atalanta. There's loads of them, right? So we can be making decisions now.
Absolutely. And this is when it comes to good recruitment. We have been very not on the same page in terms of what we think of the club, but we are very on page with getting things done early, and that's what we've got to be doing as Tottenham Hotspur. This can just be a bad season for us. It could just be. It's a really bad season, but...
Or the best season in 45 years.
Or it could be. It could be. It's typical Tottenham, isn't it? The worst season ever, but you win a trophy, and then...
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Absolutely. Big up Chris Eubank. Big up.
Let me ask you this, mate. Daniel Levy, I think those of you who will know you from the community will know, I'm guessing, how you feel.
Yeah.
Does anything change in your mind about him if your reasons why you don't like the guy and you want him gone is because of our lack of trophies? In a world where we win a trophy, does that get the pressure off him in your short term?
It's a pendulum, isn't it? If he decides to start spending the money, because he has been spending the money, we can't say that he's not backed a manager, because he's backed this manager.
Just backed the wrong manager.
He's just backed the wrong manager, but he's still backed a manager to the hilt. If we get another manager in and he backs him as well, and then we back another manager after that, you start to think, oh, it's moving towards Levy stepping away. And as much as I am part of the Change for Spurs movement, Change for Spurs doesn't mean Levy has to leave. He doesn't have to. It could just
doesn't it?
It doesn't have to be.
Isn't it just Levy out rebranded?
I don't think so. I think there's a more positive outlook on everything.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it is a democracy, and people should be all right. Levy out could mean Levy just go away from transfers. It can mean many, many different things.
As I asked the last man, Aaron, he said that he's happy with the owner. I'm inferring here, but I'm paraphrasing. But he says like he's happy the guy's not that bad. But he's also saying that he wants someone to come in and take over the football side.
Absolutely.
And I just don't know whether Daniel Levy has it in his ego to let go of this thing.
I think he's starting to realise that he doesn't have the facilities for this big man, in the words of that YouTube video. I think he knows that he has got issues, that he has been very, very hands-on. But amazingly, some of the transfers he's been very hands-on with. Jed Spence. I love Jed Spence's play. Some of the young players that we've insisted have actually turned out better.
You know what, actually, for a Levy outer, I've never heard even people that are on the other side of that coin haven't really reminded people that actually the one that he forced through, it's actually worked out to be a good one.
It's actually a good one. So maybe he does have an eye for a player. We just don't know. At the end of the day...
Wow, I didn't expect that on this interview.
We all want what's best for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yep.
And if Daniel Levy can facilitate an improvement on the pitch as well as improvements on the stands, it's a multifaceted issue. We can't just have a Levy in, Levy out.
It's overly simplified, isn't it?
It's so simplified, it's very nuanced. If Levy goes away from the football side of things and continues to, because the generation of the area is something that needs to happen. People don't like it, people don't like gentrification, but sometimes...
It happens, it's happening anyway.
It's happening anyway.
It's going to happen regardless, whoever does it, it's going to happen anyway.
Look at Shoreditch.
Exactly. Not just Hackney, everywhere. Clapham, Brixton, everywhere.
Absolutely. So, we just need to have a football team that cares on the pitch, and if he keeps on signing good players and paying them decent money and making us a team we're proud of, that pendulum swings back that way, doesn't it? Everything is a pendulum.
But in the short term, in the immediate short term, if we lift the Europa League and there's a bus parade down here in 60 days' time, does the Levy, the hardcore Levy out element in the online space, do they park their frustration, or do they say, that's nice, it's great, but actually doesn't change anything, we still don't think you're right for our club?
I think it depends who you speak to. If you go old school hardcore, they will probably say too many bridges have been burnt, too late. Too much water's gone under the bridge.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, in your words, if you blame him for everything, you've got to praise him for everything that goes right.
Only if you do the buck stops at the top argument. If you're someone that wants to allocate accountability individually, then I'm happy to hear people say this wing goes in Andrew's direction, this wing goes in the player's direction. But if you're someone that says everything that happens on the pitch is Levy's fault ultimately, then that includes the good and the bad.
which amazingly, I'm not one of those people. I don't actually blame Levy for what's going wrong on the pitch, because at the end of the day, he's not telling Ange Postecoglou to play 2 inverted fullbacks, plus our best 2 goal scorers out far on the right and the left.
Yeah.
And that's the footballing reasons is totally tactically in my point of view.
Well,
I don't see this team as being a 17th place team.
No, this team is so much better.
It's
than
so much
where
better than that.
Where we are.
Well, how many people? I love Lucas Berghvall as a footballer. It's great.
Is he out for the season?
I have heard little things.
Yeah, I've heard it too, but do we know?
Let's see the team sheet tonight. If he's not on the bench, it's true, isn't it?
We've got about an hour and a half to wait, guys.
Hour
the
and a
rumours are
half.
picking up. Benny Boy, where can people find? Oh, so actually, let's cut that one out. Benny Boy, what's the scoreline going to be?
I've been saying 3-1 to Spurs all week, but seeing as it's my 30th birthday, I sort of want to change it to a 3-0 Spurs.
You go Bolshy. Okay.
Let's go 3-0. We're a flip-flop here.
Who's scoring?
I'm going to go Dom Solanke. I'm going to go Micky van der Ven.
Love it. I thought I had a dream about him.
For my boy Bobby K. Big up Bobby K. 3 Spurs boys.
Big up Bobby K.
And
comment.
I'm going to go for an outside choice, and I'm going to go Matisse Tell.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would
Last
be.
question for you, mate. Matisse Tell, if we could renegotiate the terms, would you like him to see him? You seeing enough from him?
Drop that price by 20 million, then we can have a conversation. I don't think he's 60 million pounds.
No, definitely
I've
not.
not seen anything that
25, 30 million, maybe with a sell-on percentage for the next one. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Benny Boy, where can people find you, mate?
You can find us at the Coffee Company for all your coffee needs. The finest coffee in Woodford Green. You should go there.
Are you still doing your sort of coffee company lunchtime shows?
Absolutely, 2 p.m. every single day, and a few football streams here and there because you've been telling us to do some football content as well. So we've been doing a bit of everything. Coffee, football, good times. It's everywhere on the Coffee Company, and go and subscribe. It would help us get past the 1,000. We are past 1,000, but let's get closer to 2,000.
Congratulations, mate. There you go, guys. That's Benny Boy from the Coffee Company. Get over there, like and smash the subscribe. Drop the comments. Are you on the same side of him with Levy? How do you feel about Levy? If he wins, do you lay off? What do you think about that stuff? Let me know in the comments. You heard the story. Drop the comments to let us know your side. Appreciate it, Benny Boy. We're going for a beer. He's going to get some sweets. We're going for a beer. See you on the next one. Bye.